Alright, so we look at TrioBASIC keywords. So introduction to TrioBASIC. What is basic? So it's called beginner all-purpose symbolic instruction code. So yeah, a little bit of history on how it was original. The basic language was created. Alright, so it's basically a family of general purpose high-level programming language. So design philosophy emphasizes of ease of use, so that's why it's called even basic. So it's globally understood. So so the main programming construct is sequence, selections, and iterations. So easy to read, English-like commands. So yeah, this is on the various where they use basic commands before. So a little bit on how basic language works versus the PLC. So for the basic language is runs from the first line to the end and then it stops, right? Unless some code is inserted to divert program back to the top or back to some other programs. Okay, so it's just scan only one time. But in the PLC it's continuously scan and then until you can put a timeline when it should stop scanning. Okay, so usually it scans every 10 milliseconds, right? So even as a fault or whatever, it can this one. So that's the difference between the basic and the PLC. So if later we look at the IEC code, so IEC 61131, where you can program under the ladder logics. So it's not straightforward as how you do it in the PLC because it doesn't scan. So you have to put some flip-flops here and there to ensure it does this every second it does the scanning. Okay. So even in the ladder logic it works same as the basic lines. Alright, iterations. So we have some iterations or some basic commands. I think you would have seen the while when loop. So it's just giving you a condition, so until it's true then you execute this and then end. So this is actually to run it in a loop, so you can do a loop. So if you put while true and then you do a program code until end, so it will execute until the condition is true. Alright, so this is basically we do the loop function. Then we have repeat until. So you have a while when loop, then you repeat the sequence so until it turns false. Right, so these are some of the key. Then for and next loop, so you just use that for axis 0 and 1. This is the dataming command. Alright, this is a sequence that I rarely use, but to exit for the for next loop must normally complete to the last value of the x, so last value of the axis. So to come out for the for next loop early, you can use this exit function. So if you want the program then continues on the line after the next of this. Okay, and continue actually forces the program to go back to the top of the loop. Alright, so you can see here is if input 1 is on, then do a continue, and then the A out to 2 is then not set on the pass round of the loop. Then you have the if conditions. Right, so you have if and if. For multiple actions you have and if. Alright, for single action if you just have the if. So this is a true and false action. So you have if input on, then what is the action to do, else do this, then end if. So every time when you have a if command, you have to end it with an end if. So for the multiple conditions, then you can use else if. So if then test a condition. So if the condition means the action is executed, or if not, then go to the next one. So you can add without any restriction. Okay, so this is for multiple condition, multiple actions. Alright, case, we will come to this. So case checks on the variables. Alright, So each case then numerically equals the value causes the execution of between two case statements. So it actually will compare this, and the program continues until the end case. So you can put you can set a variety of program and set it as case 1, case 2, case 3. So case 1 you can execute this. So this form is ideal for several action dependent on the value of the variable. So the case, you can actually program it to a VRs as well. So for example, VR20 is case, then you can change VR20 to 5, execute case 5, VR20 to 1, execute case 1. So functions, yeah, just now we just went through one of the functions. So function must be placed in a basic library. So a function can have value passed to it, a function can return a value. The return value can be single value or an array or containing multiple values, and then you can use it in your programs. So we have more and more people using functions in their programs. So it actually makes you easy. It's like a global thing, so it makes thing easy.
Especially for something that share between the different tasks. The
Yes.
function is very useful.
Yeah. So this is an example. So hold the calling program for 1.5 seconds. So useful instructions. So there are something like wait until input. So that's what I mentioned. We don't recommend to use the wait until, because sometimes in the program you don't know why it's not working. So when you have to diagnose. So if you put a wait until, it will just stay there unless the condition is met true. Yeah, so that's why you usually ask to do a wait idle or wait loaded for move. But you can still use that if you know what is the program doing. So labels and go to. So this is for subroutines. So we'll come to that again. So you inside a program you can have subroutines that doing a certain. It works similar to functions, but you can do it in the program itself. So you can have one portion doing, for example, datum. Then it can go back to the main in the same program. Okay, so it uses label to identify specific position in the code. So let's say, for example, you put datum and then you put a semicolon. Okay, then you say at the next code you say, okay, now go to datum. So it will execute that particular datum command. So that particular, or we call it subroutine, right? So the go to command simply takes the program to the named label, right? So again, the go-to statement should be used with care. You can produce untidy programs that are difficult to debug and support. So this is why we don't use this. We ask to use function, because then your functions can be organized in a proper manner, right? So this go-to is a way that they did long time ago, but we will do that here. So in order to familiarize. So go sub calls a label subroutine. Subroutine is immediately executed. So then return at the end of the subroutine. It will give you the following line, right? And the stop command stops the program execution.